I should get my glasses on. Oh my God, who am I? We are
ready when you are. Facebook is
Hello, Luke. All right. That was a lot of metal theme song.
That was a lot of metal.
Hello. Oh, I should get serious here. Welcome to Essential TV.
We're incredibly serious.
Season 7 is coming episode.
Yes.
This is how pretty much our preseason starts. Do we have like a...
We're starting the preseason early. We
need to get
waiting.
a massive like countdown clock or something like that just shoots down a year per
hello
second.
To our friends. Say hello to our friends. Can you?
Hello, everyone. Hello from New York City. Welcome to shout out and say where you guys are all.
Yes. Let's get out of our system.
From.
Where is everybody watching from
today? Are you guys
today?
around the world? Are your neighbors in New York City where it's so goddamn hot? It's a
pretty
little
hot today.
Uncomfortable. It's way too hot.
It's hot like a robot.
It's pretty nice
we're
in
getting
here.
on Facebook. They say can't hear you. Can you hear us?
Can you hear us now?
Pittsburgh. We're getting
Houston.
I think
we say Houston. It's so hot in New York City. I'm drinking actual water. Instead of actual beer. Oh, should we get
Where's
serious?
your helmet?
Sorry, guys.
Let's get serious here.
Sorry, guys.
Let's get our game face.
Well, my guitar guy is different than my axe guy.
Right.
It's so much even extra hotter in this piece of plastic right now.
It's super hot.
But I do look good.
We got
LA.
LA.
So it's okay.
We got somebody called us. Dallas, Texas, asked us where's the headgear. Pittsburgh.
Oh, it's hot in Texas? It's always hot in Texas.
But it's probably not humid like it is here.
No, it's terrible here.
Okay, so anyway, we are here talking about...
Oh, you guys want to hear that heavy metal thing one more time?
Real quick. Good taste.
I can do that the whole time. I'm just going to annoy you with that. I'll pepper it in.
And credit White Noise Lab. They're the people that made that heavy metal theme.
Oh, okay. That like at White Noise Lab or
They're
something?
on YouTube, White Noise Lab, and they gave us permission to use it.
Thank you, White
I
Noise
asked
Lab.
permission to use it.
Sweet, fantastic.
Do chicks dig dudes in crazy Game of Thrones gear? The chicks who are
Yeah.
watching will have to let us know, but I see hearts flying.
I mean,
on my
like, if you're
Periscope.
Kit Harington, you're getting lots of girls, right? Even George R. R. Martin's getting lots of girls. Are we getting lots of girls?
assume-
You're married.
I'm
don't.
not.
I don't get lots of girls.
I assume that George R. R. Martin is probably the first time in his life.
Oh, yeah.
No offense. No
He
offense.
was probably a virgin 6 years ago, but not anymore.
When this
That's
show
okay.
premiered, his life changed.
His life changed.
All right. So, yes. We have a yes, we do. Thank you, Mrs. Stevens. I'm assuming you're married, too, so you be careful.
Are you pointing at me?
What,
Because I could
what
see
is
you.
the bell for? So my big fat mouth on Periscope has already spotted our prop.
I have to ask because we wanted this last week for our finale.
I've been asking him to find a bell.
I went into all sorts of weird places and I couldn't find one. I looked for the bell store.
Does it look
couldn't find
familiar? Shame.
No, you got to do it for real, though.
Shame. You got to do it.
Shame. Shame. Are they doing it really
I think they
well
do it
over
upside
there?
down. So if
That is an obnoxious sound.
it's
Let's
terrible.
just set
It probably
that down
sounds
over
terrible. It's
there.
probably blowing your eardrums out. So anyway, dinner is served. That is also true. Thank you,
Yes.
my big fat mouth.
And is that nun still alive?
As far as we know.
Right. She's
I think she's
getting raped by the mountain.
She's
or
having a
something?
harder time waiting for season 7 than we are.
Oh, much harder time.
So
Shame.
we got playback.
That's a tough act.
I think I'm getting.
Shame.
Can you hear yourself?
I could hear myself.
That's never good.
Okay, so
try to avoid the sound of my own voice.
Megan Mitchell says last week was horrible, and that is because there was no new Game of Thrones.
Yeah, were we on last week? No. What is it, Wednesday? Last week, Wednesday,
It
there
is
was nothing
Wednesday.
happening. We weren't on.
Well, it was July 4th weekend. So anyway, real quick, on the Shame Bell,
Where'd you get it from?
I bought it on Amazon. You buy everything on
That's
Amazon.
cheating the internet. You got to find it in a store.
And it took me some typing to find
Is it
the
an
thing.
actual Game of Thrones bell?
No, but
Like, you know, you fly in a plane, they have the Sky Mall, it's all Lord of the Rings gear and stuff like that?
How do you fill the hole now? How do you fill the show hole?
With, like, movies? No. I saw
There's
some movies
they're
recently,
not
and I
very
was
good.
just not
They're
happy
not very
with them,
good.
no.
So we'll get back to that.
I've been like eating again.
Eating?
I've been working a little bit. I've started to see my friends and hang out. So that's been good. I have friends again.
I'm watching Orphan Black. Seeing since that South Park episode, my viewing experience of Game of Thrones has changed.
It's a good episode.
Another show. Last week I watched Christmas movies. We rewatched Game of Thrones. I've had some people.
For the record, I started from season 1.
I've had some people tweet at me and send messages
now.
saying that they started season 1 again.
Yeah, you pick up weird things. Season 1 is everything's very, very different when you watch it now.
You appreciate it more, right?
Yeah.
Because the thing about Game of Thrones.
Oh, a new one?
No.
An extra one.
Do you want to double mic me?
I want to double mic.
He's going to be in stereo.
3D.
Wow.
He's in stereo now.
Vocal 3D, I'll take it.
But the thing about Game of Thrones versus other shows is that most people don't realize it, but in TV, traditionally, when a show starts, the writers have no idea what they're going to do if it gets picked up for a second season, if it's going to be huge. Like Lost, for example.
Why is this so difficult to me? I went to private school. I went to college. I should be able to do this.
Doesn't mean you passed.
That's a good point also.
But yeah, so someone points out, I'm sorry I missed the name, things you pick up on. Because Game of Thrones is based on this book, and when they started, they already knew where the story was going for at least this long.
Right.
They got to plant these seeds.
I think that
And it's a better show, and the rewatch is better because of that.
I think the showrunners originally...
You take the season and you look at the details.
They wanted to do the story in 75 hours, make it a 75-hour story. A lot of shows that are on TV, they kind of make it, and if it's a hit, they'll just keep pumping it out, and this is the opposite.
No, they're trying to cut it off.
That's what I'm saying, and I think it's for the better.
The Holy Grail.
Yeah. So where will it go from here? Is that what we're going to talk about?
I think what we're going to cover today is we're just going to talk about...
You should probably hold your sword when you talk.
Oh.
Just being serious about things. There we go.
What we're going to talk about today...
Should we mic that?
We should mic the sword.
All right.
So you have to swoosh it.
Because one of my mics was for the... I don't think this really makes a swish sound. Makes no swish sound.
Kristen on Facebook, I've watched Game of Thrones 3 times over. Just 3? Just 3 times?
I think I'm not embarrassingly on like 4 or 5 times or something like that.
But I think what's going to happen is the show's coming to an end, and they're going to go into spin-off world.
Yes.
Right? We got all the prequels.
The prequels.
I have a hard time saying the word prequel because I just have such a visceral negative reaction.
Bad. But I'd be down for an old school Targaryen story or something like that.
It's very hard to find a good prequel. Better Call Saul is probably the exception.
Yeah. Or I was thinking,
agreed,
I told
let's
you
do
this.
The Rebellion.
I was sending Luke annoying texts all week about weird things. So you know when they go into it's the Citadel, right? When Sam goes in there in the last episode, and he sees all these things around him, and he sees what kind of looks like universe compasses and stuff like that. Is there space in Westeros? Is Westeros a planet? I'm thinking I mean, as far as are there aliens and other galaxies?
Well, okay, let's start a little bit closer to home.
Because I'd like to see Westeros in modern times.
Westeros, the Next Generation?
Yeah. Deep Space Nine.
We
Westeros,
know that.
Deep
Well,
Space Nine.
Arya, whenever she's leaving Bravo, she's talking about what's west.
Yeah, she
what's
says
west
that.
of Westeros.
But she bails on that storyline for some reason.
Far Westeros.
Do you think it's on? Is it a flat? Are they flat Earth theorists?
I wish for a
something?
Jar Jar standalone film.
A Jar Jar for Star Wars?
Or for Game of Thrones.
I don't think anyone wishes
He's up
that.
for grabs. Star Wars doesn't want him. Game of Thrones should pick him up.
That's a free character.
Get the rights for cheap.
That's the only character you could put on a T-shirt and you probably won't get sued. I think they'll
Probably.
just give it to you.
You might get beaten up.
Yeah, you
what
might get
is
beaten
west of Westeros is the question.
Or what's up? What's in the sky?
Oh, this is good.
They showed a comet at one point.
That's true. And the Lord of Light, where's he hanging out? Kristen Green says, we haven't been to Castle Rock. That's interesting. You know, I haven't thought about it. We've talked about it a lot.
Tywin's home?
I don't think we ever saw it.
No.
And my sword is not floppy, by the way.
What's the place where Stannis is at, where the dragon's carved into
Dragonstone.
it? Dragonstone. What's this stone that the dragon's carved into?
Northaros.
Dragonstone. That's good,
Northaros.
that's right. I'd also like to see more of the Night King's kingdom. I want to
North
see
of the
like the igloo world or something like that. I bet that's really
I think
cool.
we might see Igloo Land.
Yeah.
This is turning into like a Super Mario, like...
Who knows? Who
World
knows what's
7
there? No,
is
but I'm serious. Like maybe if
World.
Westeros is, or maybe there's other continents. Maybe America, maybe North America exists next to Westeros.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe it's going on right now.
Megan says they need to see what's up with the smaller houses.
Well, that's why in retrospect, the Sam Gilly story was a little interesting, like going off
A little interesting.
away from all the lords and the kings and stuff, and just going not to the common folk because we're hardly peasants, but just seeing what other people think of the world. They still don't know that the wildlings have breached. They still don't know about White Walkers or giants or any of that stuff.
Marcel, we will get to the House of the Undying. I
Forgot about them. Yeah, what's going on in Quarth?
Quarth?
Karth. What's going on in Karth these days?
Remember, they corrected
Well, they're
it.
all the 7 are dead, or the 9? No, the 9.
And then they locked the big guy in with the
They're
woman.
still there. I think they're still alive. That's my
They've been
theory.
fasting.
Yeah, for sure.
So Hodor. Okay, let's go to let's bring up our next visual. So speaking of Hodor, if you are just joining us for the first time, or if you need a reminder, you may randomly Hodor at us.
That is allowed.
We appreciate random Hodoring.
But I don't have booze on me right now, so I can't turn it into a
so
drinking
if we turn into a
competition.
drinking game, we're just drinking water. It's
In
not
that
as
I let
entertaining.
you down, but we'll drink some.
And you may
some
also
water.
randomly Jody at us because autocorrect turns Hodor into
No,
Jody.
give me some of your water, right?
I was gonna give you
No,
cheese.
like pour some.
See
Don't
ya?
be cheap. You're on TV.
Share and share alike.
There we go.
I might get
the
thirsty.
whole world seeing how nice
Might be
you
like
are
those
right
guys
now.
locked in the vault at Karth. I might have to take you out for the water.
That's okay. We'll fight to the death. What do you think would be a better fight to the death weapon? A plastic axe or
A plastic sword?
It's not even plastic. It's like foam. I think it's like a foam sword.
I would go with the plastic. Hold the door. And someone points out Daenerys and Jon, I do not believe they will be romantically linked because we're pretty sure that they are related.
Right,
We're pretty
but she's
we will get to that.
his,
Daenerys would be
aunt or
Jon's
something?
aunt. We'll get to
Yeah,
that.
something
So let's go to the next one. We have a new thing. If we get too far off topic, you can shout out at us, "Where are my dragons?"
Yes, that is
That's
a very news to me.
that
I
is
didn't
a
know that.
that is a polite in-world
You can
way.
tell that to me
That
also,
is a
'cause
very
I go off
nice
topic
way of
all the
saying, "Hey
time."
guys, get back to Game of Thrones."
Yes.
because we have things to talk about that aren't Full House.
I wonder if the people that pulled those off, really
Have
helped
called
out.
Jorah.
That was
what
the
it
House
says.
of the Undying people.
House
They
of the
pulled all that
Undying.
off.
So let's
Excellent.
test this. Remember, if we get off topic, where are my dragons?
Done.
Joe, how was your 4th of July weekend?
Oh, I went upstate, and I drank a lot with my friends. I went mountain climbing, things like that.
You're lying.
I did a whole
You're
bunch
lying.
of things that
Where
I
are my
can't say. There
dragons?
we
Where
go.
are my dragons?
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Where are my dragons? It takes a little
The
while to type
details of
that.
my weekend
They
are
all come
not
in-
safe for HBO.
They all come in at the same time.
Yeah.
Where are my dragons, everyone?
Oh, talk about
Okay.
Game of Thrones? Done.
Okay, so what do y'all know we don't? What should we expect in season 7? Lady Stoneheart, I can't even bring it up.
I know you're going
Anymore.
to cry. Luke's
Lady
been
Stone.
crying all day, by the way. We're not really sure. He's just been in a corner crying.
Isn't the
You
guy
okay?
on the guy on the left in a pie? Somebody wrote.
Yeah, I am. I came back
Frey.
from the
He's
dead.
a Frey pie.
Yeah, I was brought back by
He's-
Melisandre.
he's a
I
Frey
hate that I
spawn.
look like him. He's such an ugly character.
Why
but
does-
look at the character. I do look like him. There's
You
nothing
really
I can
let
do about it.
yourself go because in the first couple episodes you were getting you look like the new Call.
No, that had great. It's really. I think it's the helmet.
It's the helmet.
and the face.
Because you picked up the helmet
It's the
later
face
on.
also.
The
I
face
know.
and the helmet really work against you.
Too bad.
Okay, the
I'm
wall
hoping
is
the
coming
next
down.
season brings some better
The
people.
wall is certainly going to come down at some
Yes.
point. Otherwise, that whole
We all
White
know it's
Walkers
going to be
thing,
the last shot of season 7. Is going to be the wall coming
It is
down.
the helmet. They confirm.
Yeah.
Is Hodor coming back as a White Walker? I hope not. That would be heartbreaking.
He would have to though, because the White Walkers don't kill. They only turn people into White Walkers, right?
Well, they don't reproduce as far as we know.
No, but I'm saying like
Oh, you
anyone
mean-
the White Walkers killed
the
become
whites.
White Walkers. Or become zombie creatures.
Zombies,
So
whites.
that definitely happened to him. Like at the Battle of Hardhome, everyone stood back
I don't
up.
know. Does anyone know from the books? Is there more detail on the process of how someone becomes a white? Because the show hasn't really gotten into that. And
No, they
we've seen
just now breached
We've
on
seen
it.
basically skeletons come back. So I'm
Right.
wondering if
Which are
it's-
not White Walkers, right?
I
Those
wonder
are
if
just...
they select all the dead rise. Okay.
Yeah,
If
so
he's-
Hodor is definitely still...
Maybe there wasn't anything left of Hodor after they killed him. But even if he's a skeleton,
I
the
doubt
whites are
that they'll
not.
make him like a White Walker character.
no, I doubt we'll see.
But scientifically speaking,
I
he's
doubt we will
still
see
left. That
Hodor
body's
again.
still walking around.
Yeah, he's still Hodoring.
Is he at peace?
Of course not. Poor Hodor has never had peace in his life.
That sucks.
Now we know that. That's what makes it
It's
tragic.
actually even sadder when you start from season 1, which you guys really should all do, and just watching him and whatnot. Like that's a tough one. But what is cool
And we
starting...
have Alyssa says doesn't go in depth in the books.
No.
So we'll just go with our theory.
I'll tell you one thing that's definitely cool about TV in general that movies can't do. When you start from season 1, you get to watch these, like seeing Bran as a kid, Rickon as a kid, and you can't do that in a movie.
And between seasons, seeing him grow 7 feet
Exactly,
tall.
exactly. But that's
Talk
crazy.
about
So
growth
it
spurt.
adds an element of realism that Hollywood has not really been able to produce yet, because you can't film a movie over 12 years or something like that.
No,
even. So that's awesome.
Yeah, except for Boyhood.
Except for Boyhood, exactly.
Hold on, we're going to get Where Are My Dragons?
Exactly. But you see Sansa as like actually a little girl. Arya's
Boyhood
a little
did it.
girl.
Thank
Boyhood
you.
did it,
Thank
but
you,
that was
Dixon.
the shtick. They went out of their way to do that. Game of Thrones, that's just the process of doing a TV show.
Let's go to our next visual.
What do you got?
Okay, so
Like, share, follow.
This is the point where we remind you, if you're watching on Facebook, be sure to like the page.
Yeah, which a lot of you guys have. So Luke, you
We
always
appreciate
like
that.
12 shaved heads, by the way.
Yes.
A lot. You have to shave it, grow it, shave it, grow it, shave it, replant it, grow it. I mean, there's
We're
going to
gonna
be
be here for a long
It's
time.
like getting 50 life sentences in jail. I don't know how I'm going to execute it, but we're going to figure it out.
Yes.
I'll devote the next non-Game of Thrones 10 months to that.
And no
Some more
shaving.
head.
Thank you, Mrs. Stevens.
It just, it's all capital. We can't do it.
Did anyone ever find out how Varys got on the boat so fast? He's a hologram.
He's bald and he has no dick. He's super aerodynamic. He's like a
Streamlined.
submarine.
Streamlined.
He goes under the water.
He's like a bald Michael Phelps.
Maybe he's got some like Waterworld gills or something like that.
Maybe.
It's possible. It's very possible.
The Mariner?
Yeah.
He could make
Maybe the
space and
rest of
time.
Westeros is just water, and it's kind of like a Waterworld.
And then, of
situation.
course, Vicky has the sensible answer. They picked him up in Dorne.
Could be.
That's-
Here's a
I
question.
like the teleportation better.
Do you think that so now Tyrion and the Sand Snakes and Lady Olenna are all together? Do you think Tyrion A hates the Sand Snakes because they killed his niece Marcella, and B
Does he
hates
even know?
Lady? I don't know if he knows, but if he finds out that Lady Olenna killed Joffrey and he got blamed for that, he's gonna have some beef with that.
I don't think he'll ever find that out. She's pretty good.
She is pretty good.
He's a merman. Merman.
He's a merman. That's right. That's right.
I just
No,
wasn't.
but Lord Varys kind of looks like a manatee a little bit, right? Maybe he just like super manatees through
He is
the
a
water.
manatee.
Who knows? He's got a way. He's got a way to do it.
Rachel on Facebook says, I want to see Sansa pregnant. You just want to see her maternity outfit. Her
It's hard
fabulous
to tell. She's
maternity
always
outfit.
covered in fur. It's hard
I
to
don't
tell
think
what's
that's
going on there.
happening. I don't think there's the theory that Sansa is pregnant with Ramsay's
Or
child.
I've seen some theories that Jon's going to marry Sansa. I don't see that happening.
Technically, they would
but
be
it's
cousins.
possible.
Not as creepy
But
as
it's
they've gone in the
possible.
show.
Or on my walk here, I was thinking, this would be totally out of left field, but if Cersei...
I like things out of
See,
left
I've
field.
been working on pronouncing Cersei correctly.
Cersei, he's got it.
married Jon Snow
If Cersei married Jon Snow.
and got to him before
That is the...
A little way
that
too
is-
out,
That is
right?
the most left field theory
to
I've
left
heard.
field. All right.
Okay, and we're seeing will Jon marry Khaleesi? So let's go to the next slide because I think we're getting there. I think we're getting to this.
Cersei's going to marry Euron. That makes the most
Okay.
sense to me.
So R plus L equals J. For those of you who have not been in the loop, the theory it has been for a long time that Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna Stark are Jon Snow's parents, and they confirmed in the
But we
season
only know
finale-
one of those so
They
far, even though
confirmed it-
everyone is acting like it's true.
They
we don't
confirmed
actually know
Lyanna
that
Stark is his mother, therefore Ned Stark is not his father.
Right.
But they've not officially confirmed within the show that Rhaegar is the father. However, I think the next visual, I think we have a diagram, Ben?
Yet. What is that?
What is this?
Who made
What
that?
is this?
Did you make that?
I didn't, HBO made
Did you
this.
get fired from your job this week? You
HBO
must have
made this.
spent all your time doing that.
This is a hell of an infogram.
Oh my God, this looks like the MTA subway map.
It is. It is all roads lead to Jon Snow.
Jesus.
So this
I'm going
week,
to throw up right now. That's
if
a
you
lot.
have not, yeah, there we go. Joshua is with us. They confirmed it on an infographic diagram. There you have it. I was
so
ready.
it says it here? I
Yeah.
just know which way Brooklyn is and which
This
way
is
Queens
like
is.
a family tree, right? And this was put out officially by HBO. And so what it does, you can't see it probably because it's very small, but it says Rhaegar Targaryen as a parent to Jon Snow. So this was like extra content put out. You guys ever watched the show? Yes, Terry. I've watched it a few times.
I'm trying to make sense of this. I
You're
can't.
probably
Luke,
talking
you
to the
go.
R plus L equals J people who don't get it.
Yes.
Anyway, so long story short, this is officially
I'm not
released-
looking at
This
it.
is officially released by HBO, but they've not really acknowledged it. So it could have been just like
But you're saying
a
that
graphic designer might have just gone overboard.
This does acknowledge the E equals MC square.
Yes,
like for
it does.
sure.
It does. So this is the first official HBO.
Why does he always look so
sanctioned
sad?
content.
What is he so sad
That's
about?
his thing. That's his thing. Because he's Jon Snow.
He's got nothing to. I mean,
He
even
wasn't
if
a true
his fate
Stark.
is death, like death doesn't even take him.
Where
back.
is Lady Stoneheart? She's not coming.
No, but she
She
comes
got
up.
lost.
She comes up in this
We
show.
talk about her
every
all the time, but
Yeah.
Lady Stoneheart is not coming back. I'm sorry to
But
say.
Melisandre now, I don't know where she's going. Maybe she's.
John
gonna,
is emo. That's his
John
thing.
is emo.
Okay, so Ben, can we take it back to the one before that? Is that asking too much if we go back in time? Thank you very much. Ben is a tremendous director.
Yes, let's give
He
him.
can go forwards and backwards.
Ben.
Okay.
I'll do that again for you guys later if you want.
So
No, keep going.
keep on going.
Ben.
Thank you.
Ben. All right, that's enough.
You don't need to cut the accolades short with Ben.
I like my fingerprints all over
lots
that
of
button.
fingerprints.
None of the other options have
So Lady
fingerprints. just that
Stoneheart
one.
did get lost with Gendry. You are correct. They could be in a boat together, just going in
He's
circles.
still in the boat.
He's just in a
Absolutely.
boat.
Yeah.
He loves the seafaring life. So I just want to point out that this is the book series is a song of ice and fire.
Right.
Right? And it has long been theorized that Jon Snow is the ice and Daenerys Targaryen is the fire.
You know, do you remember the fire and ice grill from like tailgating back in the day?
I do not.
It had the cooler and it had the grill, and it was called Fire and Ice.
They should have licensed it.
I'm just saying they should remake a Game of Thrones Fire and Ice.
We'll get a
grill
graphic of the
cooler
grill
set.
for
No,
the
it's a
next
grill
one.
with a cooler.
And we
It's
will
awesome.
get to Tyrion soon. So, sorry, somebody has to go.
Thank you for letting us know. I appreciate
Go pick up one of
that.
those grills.
Oh, where are my
Where are my
dragons?
dragons? Where are my
Thank you.
dragons? Thank you,
Thank
Mrs.
you.
Stevens.
Thank you.
So anyway, ice and fire, it has been theorized that these two represent those two things. But if Jon Snow is in fact the spawn of Rhaegar and Lyanna Stark, he himself represents ice and fire
Oh, he's
in
both.
one nice, neat little package.
Which means he doesn't need Daenerys.
I want to see a dragon eat the mountain. I want to see that too. I didn't know I wanted to see that until you said it.
I would kind of want to see it. Yeah, it could come to that.
It could come to that.
Right? I
How else
mean-
do you kill the mountain? What is dead may never die. Okay.
I don't know how they're going to set that battle up. They're going to have to add a lot of.
Could it be that John himself is the Song of Ice and Fire? I like how you poetically said that.
I think he's both.
I think he could be. I
Is
think
he a
that
threat
maybe.
to Dany? That's the big question.
So-
or are they going to get married, or are they going to fight each other?
Well, that's the thing.
are
So
the dragons going to?
the show has invested so much time in both of these characters. So it's kind of a little weird if they shift focus entirely to Jon Snow and it's really all about him.
Right.
Like, where do they write Daenerys off?
Right.
But maybe they don't write her off. So that's a question going into season 7.
We also know that he's not fireproof and she is.
We don't
We
necessarily.
do, because remember he saves Jorah Mormont. He picks up
Oh.
that thing and he burns his hand.
It could be after he's reborn. Magic.
But she's fireproof the whole time before she's reborn.
See, Game of Thrones will become a rom-com with these two, an incestuous rom-com.
Why not?
So-
Does that make any sense? Like she's always before she's
She was
reborn,
always fireproof,
and
but
he's
also
not.
it's-
So she's
it's
got
worth
some
pointing
type
out-
of more fireproof claim.
In the books, though, the fireproof thing isn't as prevalent as in the show.
Got it.
That's a show kind of taking the fireproof thing to the extremes. Are you drinking milk? I am not.
We should start drinking milk for these episodes.
Nothing weird
I have
about
milk
that.
of the puppy, but I smoke.
I don't think he
that.
wants to rule, so he has the throne and he has the North.
Well, he didn't want to rule, but he didn't
didn't
say
wanna
no to
be-
being king of the North.
He didn't want to be Lord Commander of the Night's Watch.
But he took it, and all
He
the greatest
steps up.
leaders usually don't want to be it, and they're there. It's like Moses didn't want to be Moses, but he became Moses anyway.
Donald Trump didn't want to be president, but he's just
I
doing
think
it for
he
all of
wanted
us.
to be it,
He's
but
doing it for all
Ned
of us.
Stark didn't want to be hand of the king.
That's true.
I'm just saying.
That's true.
I'm not worthy. They always say that.
What and who is the deal with Yara? We will get to her. She is a Greyjoy.
Yeah.
Let's go to the slide after the infographic.
After info slide.
Yep.
Not that again. I don't want to see this math. There we go.
So the other theory is that not only is Jon Snow a secret Targaryen, but sorry, screensaver kicked on.
I like how it's
Oh
Luke's
no! It
MacBook
wants my
Pro.
password. It wants my password.
Oh, I'm looking at it.
Okay.
Oh, it's Joseph? Thanks, dude. Cool.
So Tyrion, there's also a theory that he's a Targaryen. I don't know if I buy this one, but they say the dragon has 3 heads.
Well, who could a possible third one be? If it's not Tyrion, who do you guys think it would be?
But we don't necessarily need it to be a Targaryen.
No, but just in general.
Because they said that with Bran, the Raven told him, "You won't walk, you will fly." So he could
But
be.
he's just going to be
He could
the
warg
dragon.
into the
Yeah.
dragon, and he could basically fulfill that.
But would he still need a rider? Can you put two people
I
on
see
a dragon?
Jaime, Cersei,
like
Daenerys.
a sidecar? Like a big eagle?
I
and
would
just
like to
drag
see a
that
sidecar on a
I don't
dragon.
know, a sidecar dragon.
It's
I
Hodor.
like that.
It's Hodor. Hodor's the third head. Thank you. So I don't know if do you guys, quick poll of the audience, do you guys think that Tyrion is maybe a Targaryen? Like, yes, no.
Do I count in the poll?
You can, yeah, I see a no, I see a yes.
I'm going to say
see a
no because
no.
he seems too funny looking to be on the dragon. I won't be able to take that
That was
visual
really
serious.
insensitive.
Sorry.
Shame.
Shame on me.
Shame.
I apologize.
Shame. That's what the bell's for.
I'm just
You see a
saying, I would
yes.
look weird in a dragon also. That's not true. I'd look fucking awesome.
I think everyone looks weird.
I
in a
think that
dragon.
HBO should hold an open competition of who gets to be
See a
the
lot of
third
yeses.
head.
We see a
I'd
lot
like
of yeses.
to be a third head. Like I'd like to be in that.
Hello to Henrik from Norway. I love that your name is Henrik and you're from Norway because Henrik is like the most Norway
What
name
did I say?
I can think
Skull? Skull? Right? Is that you say cheers in Norwegian?
of. I have no idea.
Skull.
And crossbones.
And no, skull, like SKOL.
What,
yes.
what happened to Sister Septa? Bad things. Bad, awful things.
Oh, that's-
unspeakable things.
The one with Mountain?
Yes.
Yeah, she's going to get raped by the Mountain, but she'll probably still be
Probably.
alive. She'll probably still be alive season 7.
Cersei will be the last face she sees.
Yes.
Yes, we think the Mountain did horrible things to her, and the imagination actually makes it worse than showing it.
Yes.
So why the
agree with
Targaryen hypothesis? It's just one of those things. The R plus L equals J theory has been long-standing in the books, and this Tyrion as a secret Targaryen thing is also one of those things, but has less evidence. The only evidence is really that Tywin was the hand of the king
Right.
to the Mad King, and the Mad King was known to have his way with whomever he wanted,
Right.
including Tywin's wife. And so Tywin's not cool with Tyrion. All three of these characters have in common that their mothers died in childbirth. So there's some clues, but it's not really not big clues. Do you think there are giant whites? Because we always like talking about giants.
Like a giant White Walker?
No, like a zombie, a giant zombie. Like a giant could become a zombie. Because there should be a lot of dead
Seems
giants.
possible. There's lots of dead giant bodies
But do you think
on the other side of the wall.
Do you think the CGI budget will allow it? Is the
Yeah,
next
for
question.
season 7 and 8, I think they have an unlimited budget.
I think in the book, yes. In the TV show, maybe not.
I'd like to see some
Oh, in
more
the book, he had
giants.
one purple eye. Somebody points out, Keeley points out for Tyrion, evidence that maybe.
Oh, he also was like missing his nose and stuff like that.
I've seen a couple saying Jaime might be the third head of the dragon. I doubt it.
It's be curious to see what happens to his character because he's not. We don't know. He's definitely not a bad guy.
Who, Jaime?
Yeah.
We'll get to him. We'll get to him. Okay, let's go on to the next slide. Shame. Okay, so we talked a bit about the dragons. I just want to talk about
Damn it! I want a dragon. Ah, sorry.
if you dream it, you can do it.
No, that's not true. I've been 32 years old. It's the only dream I've ever had. It's
Give it
not
another
come
couple
true.
years.
I can't even catch a pigeon, let alone a goddamn dragon.
I hope we do see the tournament Harrenhal flashback, and I think we will. That's about Lyanna and Rhaegar and their romance. You deserve a massive wedgie.
Oh, I do?
He's obviously talking to you.
That's definitely possible,
Obviously
for
talking
sure.
to you.
If the wedgie got me a dragon, I'd be okay.
We will
with
get
it.
to Gendry.
I
We
would
always-
imagine
we
riding a
always get to
dragon
Gendry.
would give you a massive wedgie, right? It's probably difficult. Maybe there's dragon riding gear.
there aren't a lot of saddles.
They didn't wear underwear back then either, right?
I think maybe some of them did.
They had like undergarments. I
Right.
don't know what they were. Something weird.
Don't you talk about the carpet. The carpet is stained and awful.
We have beautiful carpet here.
You can get it right here, Ben. Come and take it. Okay, Jaime is Azor Ahai, the prince that was promised. That would be an interesting twist.
Jamie's the prince that was
If Jaime, instead of Jon Snow, was the prince that was promised.
Well, why? What's his...
Would it just be a twist? I
That'd
don't
be
think
an
there's any
interesting
real
twist.
evidence to that, but Hodor, thank you very much. Okay, I just want to talk about the fact that Daenerys has 3 dragons. She has half the Greyjoy's fleet. Let's just call it half and make
Yeah.
it easy.
Probably less than half.
She has the Martells. She has the Tyrells.
She has the Dothraki.
She has the Dothraki.
She has the Unsullied.
She has the Unsullied.
Doesn't have the second sons. They're staying back in Marine.
She's a little greedy.
got
Daenerys
a
is
lot.
not leaving much for anyone else.
No.
So, does anybody stand a chance against this woman?
Well, Cersei's probably going to marry Euron and get his whole fleet. She's got, I mean, there's a lot of Lannister soldiers There seemed like 10,000
I
of
don't
them?
think so. They were out of money, remember?
I don't know. I saw a lot
Chalk
when
this
they...
up to like basically an abandoned storyline.
Yeah.
The Iron Bank of Bravos made a big deal out of money, right? And then they realized, oh, maybe people don't want to watch the show when it becomes about banking, so I think it's been swept under the rug. But the Lannisters are basically out of money.
And they have been broke for pretty much the
They've been
whole
broke.
time.
So I don't know that they were really counting on Grandma and Marjorie with their money.
Yeah.
And so anyway, and Mrs. Stevens points out there's no forces left in Westeros. Yeah. Except for the Knights of the Vale, who stayed out of all the fighting. Right?
Stayed out of it, and
We will get to Arya as well.
again, Euron and his whole
And
fleet.
we will get to Jaime, and yes, I think that he will kill Cersei. That is my
Who's gonna? That Jaime will
I think
kill
Jaime
Cersei.
will, but we'll get to that.
I could see that happening.
Okay, so let's jump ahead. I just wanted to show the dragon power, and so the other thing is that you have Euron Greyjoy out there as an X factor, and
he's hungry for the throne.
He's hungry for the throne, but I think it's really weird. He's been more developed in the books, but the way that they've kind of introduced him, but then immediately
back a little bit.
put Yara and Theon with Daenerys, where his whole thing is, hey, I'm going to go find Daenerys, I'm going to offer her my boats if she marries me, and then we get the throne together.
They really stole his
and then
idea.
they just
really
stole his thunder.
idea.
They stole that thunder.
He should have patented that.
And I virtually guarantee you that the books will definitely explore this in a different way. This is about the show streamlining things.
I think that it would definitely be possible.
Like in Dorne, there's a civil war. That is a good point.
Yeah, I think
Dorne is not exactly tight right now with the whole murdering of the king and the prince.
Right.
We can expect that they're not totally united. In the Greyjoys and the Iron Islands, there's also a civil war.
Maybe Euron, his fleet is going to encounter Dany's fleet on the way, and there's going to be a lot of destruction before she even gets to King's Landing.
Maybe thin out the numbers.
Yeah.
And Vicky says Euron and Sansa? Question mark. Because that would be in keeping with Sansa's luck. She always marries the winners.
That could be it. And also, we still think there's a little bit of tension between
And his
her
name
and Jon
is
Snow.
Euron, not Urine, Ben.
Right. Shame. Jeez, Urine Greyjoy. That is funny.
Listen,
I like
they
that.
changed Yara's name. She's originally Asha in the books.
Right, but that's too close to Asha
It's
because
too
you wouldn't
close.
want Yara to be too
And
close to
so
Euron.
they should have changed Euron because that's too close to urine.
They should have all had normal names like Jamie. That would have been way easier.
Jamie and John.
I'm a simpleton. I need that.
And Brandon's. They have some good names.
I also think that Dany is probably going to go to Dorne and set up base camp there. Does that make
Maybe.
sense?
I think she's heading right to Westeros. Please explain Bran Stark. Well, Bran Stark is one of the Stark children.
One of the Stark children. He starts
He's
as
got visions.
a little bratty, long-haired climber.
Between seasons, he grows 7 feet tall.
Yeah,
and
he
develops
checks out
superpowers.
some incest for a second. That puts him in a coma. And then he kind of has the same backstory as Wolverine. Like, he doesn't really remember what happened to him.
He's a mutant.
But he has all these superpowers because of it.
We'll get to more about Bran.
And more about Wolverine.
More about Bran. Hodor. Okay. So I just want to point out that I think this Euron, I think he's set up to be the next big villain besides Cersei.
Definitely.
I think we have
put him
3
in for
big
a
villains.
reason,
We
yeah.
got Cersei, we've got Euron, and we've got Littlefinger potentially. Right?
And the Night King.
And the Night's King, but he has no personality.
Right.
As far as we know.
Do you think maybe they're not going to be bad guys in the end? They'll be maybe Jon and the Night King will join up against Daenerys.
And Voldemort as well. He
right,
who should
right,
not
of course,
be named.
of course. Gandalf will obviously swoop down on eagles and save everyone.
Well, we've also, there's been a lot of talk about how the Night's King and the threat north of the Wall represents climate change.
Yes.
Right? Which climate change has no personality, but it's just this force, right?
Right.
So, I don't know. I think
Everyone's going to get Teslas and Volts and stuff like that.
and then
electric
save the day.
cars.
We're just going to fly in dragons.
Yeah.
Cut down on our emissions.
Is there helium in Westeros? Maybe Varys has like a hot air balloon or something like that, and that's how he travels around.
You just solved it. You just cracked it. I want to see
I'm
if
very curious about like a scientific revolution
somebody
in Westeros.
please Photoshop the Goodyear blimp with Varys riding
No,
it.
just make Varys the blimp.
Over the scene
Just
of the
make
dragons
Varys
and the
blimp.
ships. Varys in the
Or as like a Macy's Day hot air
Macy's Day
balloon.
Parade.
I like
We're gonna
that.
get some Where Are My Dragons. And yes, the White Way says, I think Bran made the Mad King go all crazy. That is a good theory, and I think
And it's a nice theory.
him whispering in the ear, burn them all,
That's
about
a cool
the Night's
thing. Yeah,
King
we
and,
like
and the
that.
threat
We
north
like
of
that
the
a
wall.
lot.
Okay, let's go to the next one. And thanks to Euron, I would remind you, please follow us on Facebook and on Twitter.
And is our competition still open?
No, it closed. We have a winner.
Oh, we do?
We have a winner.
Oh, do we shout them out or we just send it to
No,
them?
because I haven't looked at the name.
Right, and they won stuff, so like we don't want to ruin their.
We want to
it's gonna
surprise
be a whole
you.
new world for them.
We were
Okay.
giving away Funko Pop figures. There's a
Well,
winner.
congratulations. to
You
the
may
winner.
be the winner, and you don't even know it yet.
You.
You two know nothing.
That's a good point. Also,
That is a great point. I will not argue with it.
we know how to go live.
Yeah.
Right?
What have you done today?
Yeah, what have you done? Well, they're live also technically,
Yeah,
so
they're
they know
commenting.
what we know.
They know how to
there you go.
spell.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to talk about the fact that Daenerys is like hell-bent towards Westeros, and we brought this up before, but in the end of season 2, in the House of the Undying, which I promised you we'd bring up, she has this
You
vision.
promised a lot of things like shaving your head, and you didn't do that, so I don't really. You're an oath breaker.
Call me an oathbreaker.
Yes. I'll be taking
Shame.
that. Thank you.
Shame.
We have a whole armory over here.
So
Excellent.
is there going to be an ice dragon? That is a good question, and maybe whenever we this is a side track to this, but whenever we know that Bran most likely will warg into a dragon, we assume it's one of Daenerys' dragons. What if the Night's King resurrects an ice dragon?
I think
and
they're
Bran
gonna
goes into
kill
the ice
one.
dragon.
I think they're going to kill one of the dragons and resurrect that one.
That would be pretty epic.
That makes way
That'd be
more
pretty
sense
epic.
than them having like an actual separate dragon.
Daenerys will marry Gendry.
There's that. Why
He's
not?
gotta have the
They'll
big-
meet him along the way.
He's gonna have
They'll
he's
meet
on
him
a
along
boat.
the
He's
way.
already halfway
There's
there.
no way that one of the dragons, that all three dragons are going to make it to the end of season.
They've
7.
got 2 to spare.
They're going to kill one, and if they're going to kill one, they'll probably come back as a nice
It's
dragon.
2
or
a.m. in
something.
my city, and I'm watching Game of Thrones Talking Kitten Wolf. Thank you very much.
Do it, do it, do it.
I hope you don't have anything important to do tomorrow morning.
They need to make one of the dragons bad, or it's going to get boring. It's too unfair.
Well, that
It's
goes back to what I was
too-
saying. Daenerys has too much of an edge.
Yeah, so they're going to take some of that edge away from her. I don't know how. We have a bunch of interesting theories that all seem like they could work out.
We got a funny picture of Jon Snow on Facebook.
Wait, is that him wearing glasses? Is that Brooklyn Snow?
That was hipster Jon Snow.
Hipster John?
Oh, what do you think about Jorah will do with his rock arm? We'll get to Jorah. We always talk about Jorah. We always
And
talk
how
about Gendry.
Dragon is defiant already?
Yes.
A little bit,
But that's
yeah.
Daenerys's. That's the lead
Yeah,
dragon.
I think if anything, he'll be okay. But one
He's-
of the other ones, like the yellow or the green
He's
one,
like
or
the
some
Judd
shit,
Nelson of Game of Thrones.
It's exactly what he is. It's exactly what he is. But
Kids,
the other
look up
ones, who
Judd
knows?
Nelson.
Do it.
Okay, so this was a vision that Daenerys had in the House of the Undying. We saw the throne room wrecked. We assume this was after she came with the dragons. There's like, it looks like snow. It could be ash in the ground.
It's like Ash, and we see all the damage from above.
But this could be the fallout from Queen Cersei. I said for many weeks that she was going to blow up stuff with the wildfire. I thought she was going to blow up the throne room. Not yet. Could happen. So I think it's ash we see. Could be,
I
it could
think
be
it's
snow
Dragon
ash.
Ash. It definitely looks like the explosion comes from the top.
It looks like maybe they lost a couple pillars.
In the way that they show Harren, that's the way Harrenhal looks like also, all burned from the top.
Exactly,
like
that's a good point. Let's go to the next image. So how will Jorah fix his arm?
Look at that goddamn
Antibiotics.
costume. Oh, I wanted to give a shout out to Michelle Clapton, who is the costume designer that made all this awesome stuff.
Is that Eric Clapton's cousin?
I'm
sister?
not sure. It could be like a third cousin or something like that. But if you notice, they made the crown look a little bit like the Iron Throne with all those swords sticking out.
I
and
had
stuff
not
like
noticed that until now.
Well, you made the slide. You got to look at your own slides, dude.
I was busy typing.
These are some good.
So yeah, as much as Daenerys has this tremendous advantage, Cersei has like nobody. She has the Mountain, she has Qyburn, she probably doesn't even have Jaime at this point.
She kind of lost him a little.
Like
bit.
her small council is the smallest the small
Yeah.
council has
Yeah.
ever been.
Well, who's that massive army that took over Riverrun? They fight for her.
That's the Lannister army.
I'm
That's what's
saying
left
that,
of
and
it.
that's a big army, though. That's thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And if she marries Euron,
Yeah, but
they
Cersei
have-
will win. That I would not bet that, but the odds are good. If she wins, you're going to win a lot of money.
I don't see that happening.
I don't see that.
I see no money.
I don't
Not getting
see
my
how.
money.
I was listening to a podcast today that predicted that Cersei would die by episode 3 of season 7.
Oh, pull like a Joffrey.
Because she's got like nothing. Like, how does she survive this?
I think if she has the whole Lannister army and she has Euron's fleet, possibly, that could be like 15,000
Maybe
people.
Euron wants the Iron Throne, and guess who has it? He might change his plans.
Might marry her. He was going to marry anyway.
She might need the fleet.
I think that makes sense. I don't see any other way outside of her marrying Jon Snow.
That's not happening.
Right. So then who else? I mean,
We have a You Two Know Nothing. We're getting a lot of that.
that's okay.
We're getting a lot
Well,
of
we do because we're talking about season 7.
We don't know anything.
We don't know anything. These are
You don't know anything either about
none of us
season
know
7.
anything. This is a season that's not happening.
Oh, you're
yet.
on Marries Then Kills Her. Phew, that is a good
like that.
point.
That's totally possible.
Alyssa says that, and I would point out that the prophecy that Cersei would have 3 children, they would all die, and then she would be killed by the Valancourt, which is Valyrian for little brother. Euron Greyjoy is technically a little brother.
Truth.
He's a little brother.
She's not going to survive season 7.
He may be the little brother.
She's not going to survive season 7.
The popular theory had been Tyrion would be the little brother who kills Cersei for a long time and for obvious reasons. And then Jaime, obviously, could be that guy. But maybe Euron. In which case,
but I think there's
going to take
be
more than 3 episodes for them to get together.
I think the army is going to come together. I think that's going to. I really see that being her only saving grace.
I don't see her willingly marrying anyone. And that is a good point.
No, not willingly, but if she
needs,
has to.
If she needs Euron in his
the
fleet,
army, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
Am I crediting Ben for this?
Is that Ben?
Yeah, but I don't know what it is.
Ben.
Oh, wait. He's
Ben.
talking. What's that, Ben?
Yeah, but I don't really know who he is.
Ben doesn't watch Game of Thrones.
That's okay. That's an amazing blimp. And that looks like it could travel very quickly.
That is
right?
the answer. That is how he got back to the fleet.
Yeah, imagine that just heading towards
Ben,
your
they
city.
want to see you.
Yeah.
They want to know that you're not
You
just the
should
Wizard of
probably
Oz.
come in and take a bow or something like that.
He's got a
Just
cool
saying.
T-shirt on today.
He does. It's a very
We're
cool
going to get some
t-shirt.
Where Are My Dragons.
Yeah.
Here he comes. Here he comes. Ladies and gentlemen.
Take a bow.
Ben
Take a
Ratner.
bow. Take a bow. All right.
That's-
I
that's-
missed it. I had a good
You can't
button
see his
time. I
T-shirt.
missed
You
it.
can't see his T-shirt. Okay. Arya will kill Cersei. That is enough. Thank you, Ben. Ladies and gentlemen, Ben Ratner. So we also have a never watched the show. You and Ben, there's 2 of you. There are 2 people on Earth.
We should shame them.
We should shame
We're
them.
going to strip him down and march him through this studio later, definitely.
So what was I saying? Oh, but also the Valyrian pronunciation of little brother could also be interpreted as little sister because there's no gender.
Right.
So another theory is that Arya
they're
is the
very
one,
gender forward.
Arya could be the one that kills Cersei. And that would be in keeping with the prediction. So
If she gets to King's Landing without...
if she crosses another
Seems
name
like
off
she's
her list.
probably going to Winterfell, unless she's going west of west, which I hope she does, because then
No,
we can
she's on
find
her way
out
back.
what type of planet
Let's jump
this
to the
is
next
on.
one. Let's jump to the next one.
New slide.
Oh, here's a great question. The White Way says, so what do the White Walkers do in their free time? Just pose?
Soccer? Snowball soccer? They
Everyone
make
outside of the
snowmen?
United States plays soccer, or as they call it, football.
Football, so I'm going to assume they do the same thing there, too.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Huge. Maybe they play hockey? You think they play ice hockey?
Clearly they do.
I'm just saying, it's very possible.
North of the Wall is the Canada of Westeros.
Right, they all have health insurance, they don't have guns.
Mm-hmm. And there's going to be a big wall keeping people out whenever the wrong leader gets put in charge.
This is happening.
Who's left on Arya's list? The Mountain and Cersei for
Is
sure.
Melisandre on her list?
She was on the list.
So
but the
I
list
wonder
is always
if they're going to
evolving.
bump into each other. I wonder if maybe Arya is going to kill Melisandre.
Maybe. We'll
Could
get
be.
to Melisandre.
Could be.
So let's go to the next one.
New slide.
So we talked about Jaime, and I think that even though there's all these theories about who could kill Cersei, I still say it's Jaime because that brings their whole story full circle.
And it's the most emotional way to do it.
Yeah, it makes sense. And then, like, where does Jaime go from there? Does he become a full-on
Like
hero?
if someone had to kill me, Luke, you could kill me. I think that'd be a more emotional
It's a better
way to do
way
it
to go.
rather than a stranger do
Well,
it.
it's like when Ned Stark kills the wolf in season 1.
He should
rather
do
than
it.
letting Robert Baratheon's people.
Oh, question.
What do we say to death?
Not today.
Not today.
As in the words of Robert Downey Jr., not today. Here's a question. Where is Sir Ilan Payne? Where did he go?
I don't know.
Because I started watching from the beginning. I mean, he never dies. Do you guys know what happened to him?
Does anyone
care? I mean, he was kind of not a main character, but he was a character.
He's below the. Oh
He's
wait,
with
is he the guy?
Gendry.
Is he the guy that Arya killed?
No, that's Sir Meryn Trent. Sir Ilan Payne didn't have a tongue, and he was the one that was going to kill the wolf,
Yeah, no.
but Ned Stark killed him anyway.
The actor got sick. I see. Well, that's a buzzkill.
Oh, that actually would make sense because they wrote him off.
He's on a boat with Gendry. Somebody says. Everybody who we've lost track of assume they're on Gendry's boat.
Or that they're...
Oh, yeah, so we have some people confirming he had cancer and they wrote off his character.
Okay, so there. That makes sense. I was wondering about that.
Now you brought us down.
Sorry about that. Sorry, Cancer Bell, fuck.
Okay, so let's go to the next one. Do we think Arya will meet up with Nymeria and the Super PAC since they are in the Riverlands?
Tarantino should direct
so.
the Arya bits? I'd be into that, a little Kill Bill Arya style.
He should just do a whole spin-off, like if she would ever...
They'll probably just put her as the new Daredevil in Netflix.
She should host Saturday Night Live and they should do Quentin Tarantino's Arya Stark spin-off.
I'm into that. It'll just be a silhouette the whole time. Into it.
Right. So we're going to get to
John Stargarian. I like the way that sounds.
Stargarian?
Yeah.
I'll go with that. So, and some questions about the magical horn that will bring down the wall. This magical horn always comes up because it's been referenced.
And did we see it in the show? No. What does Sam find in North of the Walls? Does he just
I think he
find
finds a
dragon glass?
horn, but it's all cracked and wrecked.
Right.
Right. So they've talked
Nice
about
super glue, gorilla glue
some of
it
these
back
book
together.
readers. They're on us. The horn of Joramun or Winter.
You don't
Valar
see the horn.
Dohaeris, Michael. Valar Dohaeris. And I just don't see the show going that direction.
Of the horn bringing down the wall. But it would make sense if Bran passes it, then the wall
So
goes down.
what I think is going to happen is now that Bran is marked, when he crosses the wall, then
Do you think
the
he
Night's
knows that's
King
gonna happen?
yeah, he's on his way. They left.
No, but I'm
Benjen-
saying, does Bran know that would happen? Because that'd be pretty selfish.
he might not get it yet. I don't know. It does feel like if he realizes that crossing the wall brings the threat, then
He should just go
Guess
the
what, Bran?
opposite way. Go the other
head
way.
north.
Yeah.
Head to Northeros.
Yeah.
And by the way,
Northeros.
just warg into somebody that's south of the wall.
And just live in their body.
Yeah, just
Work from
somebody.
younger body to younger
Hodor.
body, and that's it. Kind of like Apocalypse in that new X-Men movie. That's what he does. Just keeps going into younger and younger bodies.
Where are my dragons?
Okay, got it. That made
Okay.
sense.
Okay. So I just want to touch real quick on Sansa and Littlefinger because will Sansa become a villain? Do you guys think that Sansa is set up to become, like she's in between right now?
She definitely has some serious PTSD, so who knows? She definitely got really psyched about feeding someone alive to a bunch of dogs. That made her smile. So,
And I also want
the
to point
evil's
out
inside
that
her.
a couple seasons ago, when she's in the Vale with Littlefinger, the season finale, they're ready to leave. I see unwittingly maybe, so hard. I'm assuming you're talking about her going evil. Yes, yes, we're seeing a lot of yeses. Jealousy of Snow. We're getting a lot of people saying that they can see Sansa going dark. But in that
Because
season,
she wanted to maybe wants to be queen.
well, he planted it in her head, right?
Yeah.
Littlefinger's great at manipulating people.
There were a lot of weird looks when he got
He got
crowned.
Ramsay in her. Of course, she's a redhead.
Good point.
That's citing some evidence.
Good point.
Yes, remember when her hair was dark, Jennifer points out. That's exactly what I was trying to say.
Yeah, when she went.
It was two season
What
finales
was
ago.
Garth Brooks' emo name? Chris Gaines.
Chris Gaines.
When she went Chris
Good.
Gaines.
Hey, for knowing that, I applaud you.
Thank you, but you can shame me.
And
You
I
can
shame you.
me.
And I shame
You
you.
can shame me.
The Ballad of Chris Gaines.
It was. I'll accept
So,
that shame.
kids, look up Garth Brooks. He's one of the founding fathers.
He is one of the founding fathers.
Where are my dragons? So, a couple seasons ago, they're in the Vale. They're getting ready to leave. This is before she gets married off to Ramsay. That happens in the next season. Remember, Sansa descends the staircase, and she's got like an evil queen outfit on, and her
Right.
hair is dyed dark.
Yeah.
Right? She's obviously embraced the evil.
The dark side.
And then the next season they pick up, and Littlefinger marries her off to Ramsay, which was not the story in the book.
Right.
It's a different character in the book. So obviously the show intended for Sansa to walk on the wild side, to go evil.
Just to get a little taste of that
And then
apple.
between seasons they decided to change it so that she marries Ramsay and they've streamlined the show. So I think that they still probably want her to go evil.
I don't see
I
her
don't know if- I don't know
betraying
if she
John,
will.
though, at this point.
They seem pretty tight.
Yeah.
And Sansa's jealous of Jon. I'm seeing that. But Jon told her she was the rightful Stark heir.
They seem to be both on the same page right now about stuff. Outside of what Littlefinger
She needed
whispers.
fuel for that evil fire. Ramsay gave her the fuel. And
Again, another Lady
Littlefinger
Stoneheart,
lit the
though.
match.
What would
Oh,
Lady
yeah, but-
Stoneheart do? Like, let's say she shows up episode 1. For what?
She would just decompose all over the place.
Right. It just probably
Been
smelled
too long.
terrible.
But that was like if Sansa went evil, it could have been the Lady Stoneheart story without it being Lady Stoneheart.
Right. She would kind of become that.
Right. And we might yet see something like that with Arya. So
Can Melisandre still make...
she knows she needs to kill Littlefinger to protect Jon. She might know that, but she might be tempted by
Do
that
you
Iron
think
Throne.
Littlefinger will survive season 7?
I think he will survive till the end.
You think he'll survive to the end?
I think he will survive to the end. You guys weigh in, but I think that Littlefinger's been set up from the very beginning to be a survivor.
Right.
Can we talk about Lyanna Mormont, please, in all caps?
Yes.
She's
Okay,
awesome.
so I'm wondering, will she meet Jorah? Has Jorah redeemed himself as a Mormon?
As a
And
Mormont?
and if he has, does he get that sword back? That's his sword, Longclaw.
Well, also, if Jon Snow is the prince that was promised, he's supposed to have a flaming sword.
Right.
And
So Longclaw maybe goes back to Jorah.
So maybe. And then they got to carve the wolf back into a bear, and it becomes a smaller bear.
They're really good artists in Game of Thrones. I think they could do that in like 2 seconds.
You got to have one of your banner men.
Yeah, they got like 3D printers and stuff like that.
AKA
They're
Lord
on it.
Friendzone.
They're on it.
So I don't know. I just hope that Lyanna Mormont will marry somebody and get the throne.
I hope she grows up a little bit before she gets married.
Well, it's too bad they killed Rickon, because that would have been like...
Right, that
They
would have been
could
a
have
nice
ruled
match. That
Winterfell.
would have been a nice match.
She
True.
needs. She's so cool. She needs
Maybe
some more.
Bran. Maybe Bran will marry her.
Maybe we see a Bran.
You know, and when it comes for sex, he'll warg into a regular body. What? No, that's real though. It can't be a real union unless there's a fucking happens, right? No, this is HBO. These things need to happen, right? So he's crippled, but he'll warg into like some studly dude, and that'll be that. His sperm will warg in.
I'm not even going to
He'll
listen.
warg
listen.
into the sperm. I don't know. Come on, help me out here.
Shame.
Help me out
Shame.
here.
Lyanna needs a dragon. We'll leave it at that.
All right.
She does need a dragon. She should be the third dragon rider because she's awesome.
Just saying, when Bran wants to get laid, he needs to work into.
Don't make me do it. Don't make me do
It's
it.
for the fans.
Shame.
Fine, shame me. Shame my mind. Shame my
Okay.
mind.
Let's go to the next one. Bran will warg into the mountain and kill Cersei. That's a good point. Speaking of Bran, right?
Can you warg into a zombie? I don't know.
That's a
Like,
good
can you
question.
warg into the Night King?
He warged into Hodor, and to that point, they didn't think that anyone
Otherwise,
could
you could just
warg
warg
into a
into the
human.
Night King and just take over.
Maybe. Well, the thing is, I think Bran is pushing the power beyond anything that's precedented.
Right.
Like, that's the theory that the Mad King, he's warping his mind through time. So those of weaker minds. But he might be getting more powerful, so he might be able to take over somebody with a stronger mind.
Right.
Because keep in mind that he took over Hodor when he was Willis. And maybe he wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed, but he was still a functioning human being.
Right, with the full brain, and now we know he was there the
And a
whole time.
vocabulary.
Yeah.
I don't think zombies have minds. That's a
And
good
he
point.
warged into Willis before he
Bran
became
ruins
Hodor.
everything,
Yeah.
Dylan says.
But he wargs into Willis before he's Hodor, and Willis
So
is a
I think
regular person.
either he's becoming more powerful and he can warg into sentient thinking, reason.
And apparently dragons are very smart.
Right.
We learned that when Tyrion just walks
What
in
you
and
talking
pets
about,
him.
Willis? What you talking about, Willis?
And-
It was bound to come up.
Yeah. And I thought that was funny, but I'm shaming you because you shamed me. Yeah, it doesn't feel too good, does it?
You still have my sword.
Yeah, I'm keeping your sword. I bought this
Okay.
sword.
So that's true, you did. But I earned the sword.
Enjoy it. Thank you. Thank you. We'll take it.
I dubbed thee Sir Frey.
Oh, we both got
Shame.
shamed. We both got
Thank
shamed.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you. We got shamed. Bran is Bran the Builder reincarnated. That's also the theory that Bran is actually all these other famous Brans throughout history.
Bran the Builder,
Bran the Builder who created the wall, which would really be ironic if he's the one that brings down the wall.
That would make sense. That
It
gives
makes
some
sense.
full circle.
I built this wall. I can unbuild this wall.
Here's a question. If the wall doesn't come down, are the White Walkers a threat?
I think they're always a threat, but they definitely got to get over the wall, under the wall, or through the wall.
Can they get over the wall? Can they climb and stuff like that? They're
Well,
not
the
giants
magic
that
is
can...
keeping them. The magic's keeping
The
them.
magic's keeping them.
Right.
So if the wall doesn't come down, then it kind of has to come down.
They can walk around the wall, somebody points out.
No, I don't think you can. It's
a big
water.
wall.
I
They could
think
take
those-
a boat around it. It's actually the magic that's keeping them,
Yeah.
right? So once the magic is gone, forget about bringing down the wall. You just Gendry out
You
around
gantry
it.
out around it. But they don't like water, and we see that at Hardhome. They don't follow them or anything like that. They just kind of stand there and walk eerily along the dock and then just stop.
That's because they wanted to do the pose.
No, they want. They wanted that cool pose, and
You
I
gotta do
get
the
that. I
pose
would
on
have
the
done the
dock.
same
If
thing.
you're soaking wet, it's not as cool.
Good point. I understand.
Winter
now.
has
Thank
come.
you. I get
Winter
it.
has come.
I get it.
Yes. So what
The magic was mentioned in the show. Benjen talks about it,
But also
and that's why he can't go to
the Raven.
Winterfell with them.
Where Bran was with the Raven in the little tree fort, and the Children of the Forest, they talk about the magic that keeps the Night's King and the Whites from entering.
From going into that cave.
But after Bran was marked, his GPS was turned on. He could
Right.
locate him, and he could walk through. So, and yes, Uncle
His
Ben
low
did
jack
it.
was turned on. That's for you old people watching. Do they still make low jack? I don't know. Where are my dragons? But I'm thinking about
GPS.
low
It's all
jack.
GPS.
Right.
Okay, so
What is going to happen to Benjen? Benjen's just going to. He's still going to be on. He can't.
he's going to fight for the living.
He's going to fight for the living
going
on
to
the
fight for the
other
living.
side. That's
Yes.
what he's going to do, and he's probably going to do everything he can to help Bran as long as he's on the
I
other
don't know
side
if we'll
of the
see
wall.
Benjen again, to be honest.
I'd be surprised if we didn't.
I'd be surprised if we didn't, but they're streamlining the story so much. I feel like they had to bring him back because otherwise it's such a loose thread.
Right.
But I would not be surprised. I would be disappointed, but I would not be surprised if they don't show.
Do you think
Benjen back.
anyone that's not Bran is going to go to the other side of the wall at this point in the story?
I think the story's moving south.
Right.
The only way they would go north of the wall is if they take the fight to them, and I just don't see that happening because they will never be well prepared enough that they feel like they can. Are all the Children of the Forest dead? I'm pretty sure they are. Pretty
that
sure.
makes sense.
Where does Arya go next? As far as we know, she's heading towards Winterfell. That's where I would go. if I were
Where did they get all? Which is the place where all the obsidian comes from? Was it Dragonstone or something?
Dragonstone is where the dragon glass and everything, I believe.
All
is.
the dragon glass. So
Right.
is there going to be enough to arm a whole? It seems
good
like if they
question.
have that, they got a pretty good advantage
Yeah, that's a good question. How are they going to arm all those guys?
with via
With
Dragonstone.
Sam's reading.
With Sam's
his
reading,
book smarts.
exactly, his book smarts. He's going to take over the world.
I'm telling you, I want to
Is
see
he the third head?
I want to see a Rocky montage of Sam reading in that
Just
library.
getting better and better
in
and
some
better.
little shorts with Apollo Creed.
I'm into that. On some type of like old treadmill, old rickety
I
treadmill.
don't think they're still making Dragon Glass. Guys, fact check us. Is Dragon Glass basically done? Like,
No, I think dragon glass is like
Can be
obsidian. I think it
reproduced?
comes from the ground. I don't think it's anything that's
computer went to
that they
sleep
make.
again.
I don't think it's something they make. I think it's something that it's a natural resource that they excavate, right? Just like obsidian is like lava rock.
Yeah, I think so, but there's probably a limited amount of it.
There's definitely a limited amount. There's a
Sam
limited
is going
amount
to
of
trip
things.
and break his neck. That would be anticlimactic.
I don't think that's going to happen.
What about Arya's sword teacher, Syrio?
Why is wildfire so rare? They
think
have
he's
to
gone.
make it. Right? They make the wildfire.
Yeah, only like the learned maesters know how to make the wildfire, so it's not the kind of thing that anyone can do and it takes time.
Right.
And they were stockpiling wildfire. That's how they have enough to really blow a lot up. So wildfire takes time, obsidian is hard to find, dragon's glass, and Valyrian steel is down
Does
to
the
like
wildfire
a
help
handful
against
of
the
stone
Night King?
swords.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
It could burn the whites, at
Right.
least. Okay. Who will marry Daenerys? Maybe nobody. Maybe no one.
I think in keeping with the show's matriarchal approach to leadership, maybe she doesn't need to get married.
I think it goes with the girl power theme.
That's what I'm saying.
So I would not be surprised
Unless she marries Yara.
Except she has pointed out, like, she's ready and willing.
She
and
is willing
prepared.
to get married. That is true.
But
That's
she's
why
not in a
she
hurry.
ditched
She's not
Dario.
in a hurry.
Do you think we'll see Dario again?
I think we probably will, because the Jorah story will probably meet back up with him.
That makes sense.
Jorah will probably come back saying, "Yo, where's my queen at?"
With his cool.
And Dario's going to be like,
thing
"I
on-
have bad news, but it's worse for me because I actually had a chance."
Right. Well, he's already had that. He's got that notch.
I see. Yes, he's going to turn on her. I don't know. Are you talking about Dario? Maybe he could feel a little stilted.
Will Eddie Screen come back in?
Dario has been friend zoned, or as I like to say, Jorad.
Dario's not been friend zoned. He's been fucking her the whole time. What are you talking about?
Now he is. He's Jorad.
Now he's friend zoned.
been Jorad.
No, that's a different type
We're
of
getting
friend
rid of
zone.
friend zone. It's now
It's
Jorad.
Jorad.
Jorah the
Jorad
bird.
got friend zoned. Dario got Darioed. I think it's just a different word.
Dario is like Jorad, but younger and better looking with more of a chance.
No, Dario already had his chance. They've already been
Been rescinded.
doing their thing. Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Bran's going to bring the wall down.
No, the wall's coming down. It has to come down.
It's
or else
probably Bran.
it has to come down. And I'm really hoping that we go into the Night King story on the other side. Otherwise, like I said last week, it's kind of a boring bad guy. Cersei is a very interesting bad guy.
But he's a force of nature.
Right.
And
Like
Game
a
of Thrones-
tsunami.
And speaking of people with personalities being more interesting, I'm so glad that Arya Stark is Arya Stark of House
She's
of
not
Winterfell.
living in a goddamn
She's
cave
not no
anymore.
one. I'm so glad she has her personality back, and I cannot wait for her to
pull off her face and have been the waif the whole time. It's possible. That's not a shame thing. I'm just saying it's possible.
I don't buy that theory. What
Or
do you
for
guys
her to
think?
melt back into liquid metal or something.
How disappointing would that be if Arya was actually the waif?
Or if she's who's the actor that played the T-1000?
Robert Patrick.
What if she's Robert Patrick? Could be. What is he acting in anything right now?
He acts in everything, but he's always
He's
the guy that gets
in
killed.
like CSI. He's in a lot of those.
He gets in an
shows.
episode and then they kill him.
Yeah. He's got a very.
We've not explained. Josh Wright says, "I missed what we've not explained, but if you say it again, I'll answer you."
Or you could just rewatch this episode. That's
What do the White Walkers want? That is a good question.
they want to.
They're like Queen. They want it all and they want it now.
I think they just need to spread. I think
I think that they're like a force of nature. They're probably trying to wipe out mankind. There's this,
and they were created to
centuries.
They were created
you know,
to fight mankind.
how Bran is bringing the wall down. We did explain, but I will revisit real quick. The theory is that Bran is now marked by the Night's King, and so just like how he was marked, and therefore suddenly the Night King could go into the tree fort, for
Right.
lack of a better term, with the Raven. When he goes to the wall, it also undoes that magic.
And turns that GPS
So that would be
on
how
so he can get
Bran
around.
brings it down. He at least brings the magic down, whether the wall comes crumbling down or not.
I think the wall's going to come crumbling down. That visual.
I think that's a visual. I think they have to
pass
do
up.
it. And it could be the magic horn.
In the same way that we kind of all knew that the last shot of this season would be Dany and all her dragons and all her ships going to Westeros.
Joe says they want the throne, the Night's King and the White Walkers. I don't know if they want.
They
the
have
throne.
their own throne. They have their
They have a nice
whole,
throne.
whole own other world.
I think they
in
just want to wipe
Alaska.
out humans. I think it's like
But that's why they were created
threat
by
to
the
their
forest
being.
creatures was to because the humans were encroaching in their territory.
right. So
they just took it
we
too
really
far.
don't know. We've been told we know nothing, and this
But I'm
is
hoping
true.
we find that out just to make them a new, interesting bad guy.
It would be interesting if we could get a whole.
You know, a little bit of a
whole-
sob story
we-
from the Night King, like,
we
oh
got
my
more
God, I had,
backstory.
my son was killed by a human or
Well,
something.
we know that he
like-
was a human, so we
right.
know,
So,
we know more
but
than
I'm
we ever
hoping
knew.
we get a little bit of emotions. I'm hoping there's
The White
a
Way
time where we
says
root
they
for
are a
them.
biological bomb,
Biobomb. They're a
and
biological weapon.
David says the whole show is about revenge.
Or if the Night King does take over and turns everyone into a White Walker, will there finally be peace in Westeros?
If everybody's alike,
If everyone's a White Walker,
and they join their hands in like a Coca-Cola commercial.
it will be "We Are the World" Michael Jackson song. I think that's happening. Drink it up, drink it up. Could be
Refreshing.
something to think about.
Okay. What is west of Westeros? Far Westeros.
Far Westeros,
We don't know.
Canada.
Sounds like a spinoff.
Yeah,
Sounds like a spinoff. HBO, are you listening?
it's gonna be Canada.
I'm available. Okay, let's talk about Arya real quick. She's back. I think she's going to Winterfell. Does anyone have any other theories? She might pick up Gendry on the way. Maybe she goes straight for revenge. Maybe she goes for Cersei. I really don't know, but I think that at this point she's probably heading home.
I think she's gonna go to Winterfell, and there's gonna be a
But list
Stark
first, Donut Boy says.
I think that season 7 will show us the 4 Stark kids getting back, seeing each other.
Can women be White Walkers? That's a good question. We haven't seen it. We've seen
Yeah.
whites.
We've seen whites. We've not seen White Walkers. I don't know. Maybe they're patriarchal in that society. They're more old school.
Maybe that's why they can't reproduce. Maybe she picks up her wolf. I see. Where is Nymeria? That's her wolf.
Oh, you think Arya will pick up the wolf? That could be.
It'd be nice. It'd be nice.
I'm into that.
I think that she's an assassin now, though. The wolf really is a giveaway. So, can wolves be White Walkers? Well, horses can be whites.
And is she still carrying lots of faces with her?
She has a cooler full of faces.
Does she have to go back to every time?
It's like when they have a kidney for an organ donor. They put it in
it
a
just
cooler.
has that biohazard logo
Yeah.
on it.
She's
I
got
like
a
that.
cooler
She
full
just
of
puts
faces.
that on. Or maybe she has like the Mission Impossible 3D printers. It just makes the face.
I see. I want to see Nymeria and Arya reunite. There's a lot of love for this whole Arya reuniting with her wolf thing, but I think that if that happens, it's after the whole revenge storyline.
Would she get some people off?
Yeah, I think this is her happy ending. She gets her wolf back. She marries Gendry, or Hot Pie. Twist,
Into
twist.
that.
They start a bakery together.
Or Podrick Payne. Let's not take him out of it. I think he's an eligible.
Podrick.
He's got a magic dick.
I've heard good things.
There you go. Well, I didn't make up that storyline. The HBO did. It's the show we're talking about.
That's true.
It's their thing.
I see there are women White Walkers. I haven't seen a woman White Walker. We've seen whites.
Well, they're kind
Maybe in the
of
book, I don't know.
androgynous looking. They do all have long hair. We're not really sure. Maybe some of them.
We
are
don't know
long.
where Arya's dire wolf is. That's Nymeria.
Right.
And we will get to the Clegane Bowl. Okay. Oh, I think the wolf is going to find her injured in the woods and going to eat her.
I don't see that happening.
That would be quite
But
a
maybe
twist.
we'll protect her or something like that. That could be it.
Versus marrying Hot Pie, I give that an edge. No offense, Hot Pie.
He's still cooking better and better wolf cakes or whatever it is.
Yes, and we see a lot of people talking about how the wildling women in Hardhome became White Walkers, but there's a difference. They became whites. They became the zombies. The zombies
Right, they
are the
didn't
whites.
become the people.
The White Walkers are like
the whites
Knights King.
can't go into the
Right.
fire, but the White Walkers, the fire
There's
just
two
melts
different
them.
classes. The Knights King.
Well,
is
that
the
we
White
know
Walker.
of. Maybe there's a third class or something.
Maybe. It's like a Downton Abbey situation.
I don't know. Maybe there's like a White Walker Obama sitting in the back, like he's just in charge of
I think
everything.
that's the Knights King. Okay.
No, that could be more like who knows? We'll find out.
Renly
we know nothing, like they
Renly
said.
is the real queen of Westeros.
Yes. No, shame. You can't say that. Can you say that? Is it a shame?
It's pretty funny.
It's funny. All right, we'll let it
funny.
go. We'll let it go.
It's funny. Okay, let's go on to the next one.
New slide.
Clegane Bowl.
He's going to be with.
Brought to you by KFC.
He's going to be with the band of brothers, and they're going to go to Castle Black. That's my assumption. And he'll re-meet up with Arya. I think that's.
There was a lot of hype for Clegane Bowl, which is the Mountain versus the Hound, for this season. Whenever Tommen did away with trial by combat, our hopes were dashed.
Right.
But he's back in the game.
Because Tommen is dead now.
Back in the Game of Thrones. Tommen's dead.
And I'm
Cersei's on the
assuming
throne.
Cersei has reenacted trial by combat, and it said like, no.
I don't
that's
think she
cool
even
now.
cares. She doesn't have to do anything. She's got the throne. What does she care?
Well, just in general, make that allowed again.
I think that if Clegane Bowl happens,
It's not going to be a bowl. It's just going to be a fight. It's not going to be like inside of an arena or something like that, like it would have been like
Like
a
at the
trial by
Thunderdome?
combat. It's not going to be a Thunderdome situation.
Everything's better with a Thunderdome.
Yes.
Except for the third Road Warrior. Couldn't save it.
Nope. Couldn't do it.
Mad Max, sorry.
Well, you don't
I'm
wanna
gonna
be
get-
in the
Nerds are going to say they're
Thunderdome.
not the Road, they're the Mad Max series. You're right.
I kind of want to talk about Tom Hardy also, but we can't. I want to talk about
Where are
Mel
my
Gibson
dragons?
also, but we can't.
Where are my dragons?
Chicken.
Okay, I hope that the Hound meets back up with Arya.
I think that's going to happen. I think he's definitely like reborn again as one of the brothers.
So he's with the Brotherhood without banners. I theorized for a long time Gendry would be with them. Not the case. I theorized for a long time that Lady Stoneheart, it's not even a theory, in the book she is with them, but I thought if she comes into the show, that would be how. Not with them.
Melisandre will probably join up with
And
them.
I think Melisandre is going to join up. So
Yeah.
let's go to the next slide because I think it's Melisandre. It is.
Do you think she's going to heal the Hound's face? Can she do that?
She's
dead
not a
skin?
plastic surgeon.
Well, I don't know. Like do some type of cut. Give him a haircut.
She could give him a haircut.
Give him a haircut. That all
Haircut
works out.
changes everything.
Haircut changes everything, which is why you need to shave your head.
Melisandre has some fans. The White Way says she is hot.
Yeah, we know
Don't
that.
let her take the necklace off.
No.
And Josh Wright points out she's not.
I think she's very hot. And if she kept her necklace on, I'd be into that.
Can we speak about Dondarrion? I mean, how many times is he going to die? More, I think. Beric Dondarrion.
I
with
think
the
he'll play a
Brotherhood
part.
Without
I
Banners.
think he'll play a part in that big battle or something. They're keeping him around for a reason.
So the Brotherhood Without Banners is an X factor. Who do they join up with? When do they join up?
But they're not really an X Factor. They're clearly. Well,
Well,
knowing about the
Melisandre
battle.
is all about the prince that was promised, who
Right.
seems to be Jon Snow, and so they're all about the Lord of Light. And they're
Or
gonna
is it
join
not?
up.
Is it Bran? Bran seems like, if anything,
Bran could be
person
the
to
prince that was promised.
Promised.
He's technically the Prince of Winterfell.
He's more impressive than Daenerys in my
That is
opinion.
a good point.
Just saying.
White
He seems to
Walker
be more
as a
powerful
high.
than Daenerys. If he could actually be a dragon.
They've just got different mutant powers.
Give
Why
me
didn't
Bran.
she bring Rickon back? She explained earlier in the episode that she does what the Lord of Light allows,
And-
she doesn't really have the power to
Right.
bring people back willy-nilly. She didn't even think she had the power to bring Jon Snow back. So I don't think she could bring
Maybe
Rickon back. And she
Rickon
certainly-
got child stardom to
she
his head and
certainly-
was difficult to deal with on set. Got
Maybe
really
that's
into
a good
cocaine
excuse.
and hookers. I don't
and
know. He's older now.
And then, of
We
course,
don't know.
someone's going to bring up the giant. Why didn't she bring the giant back?
Because that's a lot of...
That's a lot of resurrection.
It's a lot of resurrection, yeah. Maybe like limb by limb or something.
And he wreaked havoc on the breakfast buffet, and they were kind of glad
That's
to
a
see
lot
him
of
go.
food. I wonder, it's a lot of food to feed him.
I've been wondering, how do they feed this guy?
I don't know. Does he drink? I mean, you used to hear all those stories about Andre the
Straight from
Giant
the
getting
lake.
drunk. He used to need like 20 bottles of wine to get
Does
a
the
buzz.
necklace make her immortal? I don't know if the necklace makes her immortal or just makes her look young. I think it might just be an illusion thing.
I think it just
I'm
makes
not
her
sure.
I think it just makes her look
not
young,
sure.
and that's it. But she's always that weird, old, corpsey-looking person.
Where's Gendry?
He's still in the water.
He's in the boat. He's in
Yeah.
the boat. Until otherwise informed, he's in the boat.
I think he's in the boat.
He's totally in the boat.
In the boat.
He's got a sore butt.
Got a very sore butt and massive arms.
Yes.
I do think we'll see him again, unless the actor got sick or something, and they didn't know they had to write him out. I don't know that.
Now it's all about the buzzkills.
Yeah.
If Lady Stoneheart comes back, will she want Jon on the throne? Won't she hate him the same she would to begin with? And then when she finds out that he's a Targaryen,
I don't think she'd hate him at all when she finds out.
I think she would feel remorseful. I think that's what
She'd feel bad that she was so mean to him.
By the way, this is not happening in the show because I do not think that Lady Stoneheart's coming into the show. But in the books, what could melt her Stoneheart? Finding out that this whole thing,
And Ned
this
never
weight-
actually cheated on her.
Right. So that could melt her Stoneheart.
Yeah.
We'll see. Okay, so Melisandre, Brotherhood Without Banners, she's on the list.
Yeah.
Arya could be killing her.
Yeah.
We'll see. So, favorite character?
And I think
that's a great question. Favorite characters, everyone. Let's throw it out there.
Favorite character.
Favorite character?
For me, it was Oberyn. I think he was the coolest.
And
he
why?
was because there was just he chewed the scenery.
And
Everything
he
did.
came
couldn't-
during a boring season as well, and he lifted the season up.
He was just awesome. His
Tyrion,
everything was
Arya,
awesome.
Jon Snow.
Those are boring answers, Jon Snow. Get a little bit more creative.
Rob is the hero, basically. I see playing golf with Stark golf ball for some
I like
reason.
everyone just making their own memes. That's pretty
Marjorie
good.
and Oberyn. Rest in peace. The Night's King, Lady Mormont.
Lady
Thank
Mormont.
you. Where's my hot pie at? Let's see some hot pie.
And I like
Podrick,
I like Yara. I'm going to give
Yara's
Oberyn
cool.
and Yara.
Egret.
No one's giving
Davos.
Theon, which is good. Oh, I like
Drogo.
What did I say oh, of course, called Drogo.
Drogo.
Fuck, yeah, he was awesome.
Jorah. We see a Jorah. All right. We don't have the Jorah hate we normally have. Where are my Jorah haters?
They're on Periscope.
But our vocal Jorah haters have not. They must not be watching.
Yeah, they're not
Because
watching.
Every week we do this show on Mondays.
But we're
normally.
doing it. What's
We're doing it
today?
on Wednesday. They must
Yeah,
have jobs.
they have jobs.
Joffrey. Thank you, Donut Boy. Joffrey is in fact my favorite character.
Yeah,
He's the best.
he's
we'll get
pretty
to him.
good. He's pretty good.
Let's move on to the next one.
Next slide. Keep rowing. Next slide.
We've already talked about Gendry.
We did this.
Okay, Brienne and Tormund.
Maybe.
He cleans up nicely.
He's a beautiful man.
He
He's a
keeps
beautiful
the beard,
man,
but he cleans
yeah.
up nicely.
I don't know what he puts in that beard. He
Speak-
must have a team of people shampooing each strand. I mean, it's
masterful.
gorgeous.
Masterful.
It's gorgeous.
Speaking
it's a
of ships-
symphony. It's a goddamn symphony.
Speaking of ships, Gendry at the boat and the
Gotcha.
ship, it's an internet thing. You should check out the internet sometime.
I don't have it. I don't have Wi-Fi. I don't want to pay Time Warner. Screw you, Time Warner. You're not getting shit from me. That's right.
How else do you stream your
No, I have to pay
borrowed
Time Warner.
HBO Go?
I'll pay them before I pay my electric
Yes,
bill.
so this is happening, everyone.
We hope so.
Do not let the writers let us down. This
No.
is happening next
No.
season.
Yes.
Yes.
What's their
Ship it.
acronym?
Shipping that situation. Gendry.
Yeah.
Brienne is going to die. What is the ship name for Brienne and Tormund?
Tormand?
Briormond?
Briornd?
Trienne?
Tormand?
Brienne loves Jaime. That's true. He's a third wheel.
He is a third wheel. Well, who's the third wheel? Tormund?
No, Jaime. Messing up this thing
He's
that's meant to
messing
be.
it up, yeah.
We talk about destiny. We talk about prophecies. This is meant to be. So, anyway, shame for not knowing what ship means.
I know. Shame on me.
Bremen.
Bremen.
Torien.
I think Bremen makes more sense. Well, they'll have to get together first, and then
Bremen.
Jarmund. I guess Jarmund. Yeah, that could work.
That sounds like toilet paper.
Jarmund. It does.
Okay.
Double quilted Jarmund.
Let's move to the next one.
Moving on.
Let's move to the next one. If you could have one character killer brought back, who would it be? There's going to be a lot of Lady Stonehearts here.
If I could bring back one character, well, what would happen if Khal Drogo did came back? Would he have any Anything?
It's too long, but if you could just magically wish him back into existence, that would be a great one. I'd love to see Khal Drogo.
I'd like to bring Tywin back just to see what he makes of all this
That's
nonsense.
true. Just his commentary track.
I really think that he would whip King's Landing
Ned
back
Stark.
up into shape.
Ned Stark. I'm seeing a lot of Ned Starks. Marjorie's Robb Stark.
Honestly, Ned Stark is very Jon Snow in that he made
Egret.
a lot of dumb decisions.
Rhaegar. That's interesting. Ned Flanders.
Bring Ned Flanders back, finally. Come on. I don't want Ned back. What's he going to, for what? What's he going to do?
So he can die again. That's what Sean Bean does best.
That's what Sean Bean does.
They bring him back, and by the end of the season...
Yeah. They're going to bring back the Mad King in the form of Dany. I think she's going to go nuts. I think she might go nuts. We already have a Mad Queen in Cersei. But
I would like
Dany's
to
gonna
see,
go
like
nuts.
an Elseworlds story, a what if Khal Drogo had not died. How the story would have advanced.
If the Dothraki would have actually just attacked
If we go
King's
back to
Landing.
season 1, the
Right.
dragon eggs never hatch. Daenerys never becomes the ruler of this group, but she rules beside Khal Drogo.
Right.
Would she have what it takes? What would that story look like?
That would be interesting.
Mrs.
I'd
Stevens
also,
says she would have lost.
speaking of Dothraki...
Oh, G.R. Mormont, that's a good one too, for bringing people back.
Oh, yeah.
Hodor!
We could bring him back.
Hodor, the High Sparrow, you're just...
No,
you're
we don't
trolling
want him
us.
back.
You're
How
trolling
interesting
us.
will it be to see the Dothraki and the Wildlings interacting? Are they going to have a lot in common?
I want to see the Dothraki fight the Thens.
Yeah, I want to see all of
be
them
great.
hanging out and being unruly and barbaric together. I think there's
Drogo
gonna
would have
be
had a metal
cool-
band.
He probably
Bring back
does have
1-1.
one in real life.
Sansa's wolf lady, yes. There's so many people. Ramsay, you're messing with people.
Pretty much, has anyone died that we don't want them to come back?
I like the bad guys. So.
I like the bad guys also. I
Is there
want
anyone
Sir
we're
Meryn
just-
Trent to come back.
the High
get
Sparrow,
killed again.
leave the High Sparrow dead. Please.
Yeah, we don't
I
want him
agree.
back. He
I'm
was
done with
annoying.
him.
And honestly,
I didn't like his story. Nothing
Tommen
against
can
him.
stay dead also.
Tommen was irritating.
Yeah.
Joffrey, keep him away.
I wish it
Joffrey.
was Joffrey on the throne right now with the dragons coming for him.
Oh,
that would be way more
be
epic.
so cool. So
way
cool.
more epic.
So anyway, Joffrey needs to come back. I would just love to see Joffrey again. I love the rewatching the old episodes to see Joffrey.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of people coming back,
He didn't
Jorah,
leave.
he's out there.
Still around.
He's out there. He's
still
coming
around.
back. He's a loose thread.
Yeah.
They're going to tie him together with something. So let's go to the next one.
New slide.
I was hoping we had our Jorah haters here because our Jorah haters make every time we put a
I
Jorah
know,
up,
they
we have
just
an
got really
interesting
angry.
conversation. Oh, the screensaver, man.
Put in that password, Joseph.
that
There we go.
password.
Excellent.
Pycelle. Yeah, there's
Oh,
not a lot
I
of
thought this was a
Pycelle.
picture of you in the future. No, it's not. All right, cool.
Where's his blimp?
Oh,
You'll put the blimp up, Ben. You're thinking about it. Bring
What's
back
he going to
Hooker.
do? Varys is going to advise. He's going to advise.
People, Josh asked, why do people hate Jorah? That's what I've been asking. I really don't get it, but there's a lot of
He's
people.
the reason Danny's Danny.
Mrs. Stevens, there's our Jorah hater. We got one of them, but your buddy's not here. You're outnumbered today.
I don't know. I think he's awesome. I think he's just a great character. I want him to be like my father or something and just advise me.
He's cool. He's coming
Or
back.
is he
as
going
the
to come
thing.
back as the thing? He'll come back as the thing. Yeah.
Okay, so now for our segment called,
A little bird told me.
and this is the Twitter bird,
Yes.
because this is a poll we put out on Twitter. So let's jump to the next slide. So we had asked the question, and I want you to answer this as well. Do you stay subscribed to HBO between seasons of Game of Thrones?
I do, but only because I use someone else's subscription that they already have.
So the options were yes, no, or what subscription?
That would be.
What
So
subscription?
I'm in the 38%. Shout out to all my brothers and sisters in the 38%.
So 1,000
We
people-
are the 38%.
1,000 people voted. 41% do stay subscribed to HBO between Game of Thrones seasons. 21% say no, and 38% said what subscription. And
I'd like to hope that the 41% are doing it for Curb Your Enthusiasm.
someone points out, I think is the White Way, that we need True Detective season 3. That would help people stay subscribed if they get Matthew McConaughey back.
Right.
Where are my dragons?
Right. Where are my dragons?
Where are my dragons?
No, that was a dragon something.
What's hanging in the library that Sam enters? A glorious chandelier.
No, that's what I was talking about. So that's where like the science comes in. Could there be a scientific revolution or Renaissance period?
Oh,
in
and some of our
Westeros?
friends abroad say I watch on Sky Atlantic, so therefore this poll was not for you, and I apologize. We're very U.S. centric.
I'd like to talk about that globe, though.
Talk about the globe. Talk about the globe.
All right, so
I keep
someone-
my HBO subscription for Sesame Street.
Yo, honestly, that's not a bad idea. So if there's science in Westeros, and there's like some type of
He is
scientific
the Merlin
revolution.
of Game of Thrones.
We can't have a scientific revolution because of the dragons. The dragons come along every couple hundred years and burn it back to medieval technology. So if there weren't
like a Dark
dragons
Ages thing.
or a Night King or something like that, eventually there would be a scientific revolution and they would head towards modern
So it's also the
times.
idea that necessity is the mother of invention. So if you don't already see dragons are the way to fly, so that's all I think about when I think about how to fly.
Necessity is not necessarily a mother of invention, but
then you
I'll go
invent
with
blimps. Then you invent blimps.
Right.
And like Varys obviously has been
Right.
done. HBO should have done Preacher. You are probably correct, but it's good on AMC.
I haven't watched it yet, though.
Okay, so I stay subscribed to HBO.
What is that new show, though? Like the night before? Are you guys watching that new show that's on? They've been promoting it hard before every HBO episode.
I haven't
but
seen it yet.
I'm gonna check that out. I'm gonna give it a watch.
Oh, it's an orrery.
The night before, yeah. I'm
Its
gonna
real
check that
name.
out.
It's not meant to reflect light regarding the thing hanging in the library.
Oh, got it.
Okay. Yeah, you can't have a science revolution because of magic, Brian points out.
Yeah, no, that's dragons.
That's what we're trying
I'm
to
saying.
say. We're just
Yeah.
not saying it as well as
Yeah.
you're saying it.
Right, you got it. Magic. Done.
Okay. Magic. Magic keeps science at bay. So let's go to the next
Yeah,
one.
unfortunately.
So this is also an interesting poll we put out. Who is the best at being the worst in Game of Thrones? And our candidates are Mr. Joffrey, the wise and just, and Ramsay Bolton.
I'm surprised Cersei's not.
I wanted to keep it between these two.
I get it. I
didn't want to split the because a lot of people on the Joffrey would have went.
But
with
his
Cersei.
rage comes from Cersei, if you think
Cersei
about
would have
it.
been the Ralph Nader of this.
And like Roose Bolton,
Ramsay's the worst.
Roose Bolton might have been worse than Ramsay
Joffrey,
in his heyday.
Ramsay, maybe. Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon, I think it's Gordon Ramsay. He's
He
pretty
won
bad,
option.
actually.
I did put other. 4%, I'm going to assume it's Gordon Ramsay they're talking about. Joffrey, but he had a cause.
Well, he was the king.
But
Better to be
Ramsay has a
cruel
cause
than
too
whatever.
because he was brought up in a twisted way and never
Yeah.
acknowledged.
Yeah.
So Joffrey was only an asshole. Ramsay was a doer.
Ramsay was sadistic.
I
think
did
Ramsay
not
was
expect
sadistic in
the
a different
doer.
way.
I expect him to be like a sicko, but yes, he was a doer.
Yeah.
He talked about it a lot.
I'm going to
and
go
he
with
did
the
a lot.
69% of Ramsay. I think he
But
was
also,
a
I
more
think that
cool
the
character.
Ramsay thing is too fresh. I think people have forgotten just how awesomely bad Joffrey was. Joffrey's a kitten compared to him. Joffrey is a veritable Sir Pounce compared to Ramsay, let's just say.
Good throwback for Sir Pounce. Good throwback.
Okay. Ramsay was a better commander, that is true. Although we all remember that
Ramsay was a better man in
Joffrey was the
general.
hero of the Blackwater.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
So anyway, 27% said Joffrey, 69% said Ramsay, and 4% said other. They were talking about Gordon Ramsay, obviously. So, interesting.
Who's also pretty mean.
I still say that Joffrey is the best at being the worst, but Ramsay was awesome. As a bad guy.
Right.
So let's go to the next one.
Again, I can't take this one seriously.
I'm going to work this in every single
I just hope this
time.
dude gets lots of more work now.
I just read a story that apparently Ewan Ryan, I don't know how you pronounce his name. It's an unusual name.
Ewan.
Ewan?
Everyone's going to start typing
Ewan
his name.
Kenobi.
It's pronounced like
You,
this.
you can
Like,
pronounce
but
it. You can type it, but that
That
doesn't mean we
help
can
us. That
pronounce
doesn't
it.
help us.
So I think this happened before he was killed off in the show.
He got scrubbed out of the Backstreet
No, he
Boys.
played a young Hitler. He played a young Hitler, and I think it was either while the season was on and after they had finished shooting, or maybe it was right before the season.
When is there a young Hitler? What show
there's
is
a
that?
there's a TV movie.
Is that a Glee episode
There was a
that I
TV
missed?
movie yeah, where young Hitler
I'm just
cameos
saying.
and sings this epic
A
song
young gay Hitler?
from the producers. That's
A little rainbow beard or something? Well, I had to glee the Hitler up.
you got to
Glee
glee it
Hitler.
up.
I'm
Glee it
just
up.
saying.
Ewan, like Ewan McGregor.
It's on the
Thank
big
you.
monitor.
Oh, look, we got info.
We got info. Game of Thrones actor Ewan Ryan to play Adolf Hitler in satirical
Glee
TV
episode.
film.
Excellent. It's
So
totally
not
happening.
only is he playing a young Hitler, but he's playing it in a satirical, one of those Hitler satires.
AKA
he was in The
Hitler.
Misfits. Yes, he was. Born to be a hated actor. So in this story
Born
of
to be
Hitler,
the Joker.
he was born to be bad.
Yeah.
In this story, he plays Hitler trying to get into art school, which is awesome. He plays
I like
Hitler
that.
with a chip on his
I
shoulder.
like that a lot.
Just like he plays Ramsay Bolton,
I like it a lot.
Ramsay Snow with a chip on his shoulder trying to be.
And it's too bad because if you watch like the behind the scenes, especially for the Battle of the Bastards episodes, and he's talking about the film, he seems like a really nice guy.
I loved him in the Red Nose Day special. He's so funny.
I didn't see the Red Nose Day.
You got to watch the Red Nose Day Game of Thrones from not the most recent one, but last year's.
Was it the one they all sing together?
It's a musical.
Yeah.
Davos would be a perfect Bond villain. That's an interesting suggestion.
Yeah, he's kind of a good guy though. He seems too much of a good guy. He is one of my favorite characters though, and has been ever since.
Was Ramsay's death predictable in your opinion? Not just in our opinion, in fact, because we talked about.
We knew it was going to happen.
We knew he was going to be.
But they executed it very well. They executed it very well.
They executed him very well.
They executed him very well. But the same with the battle. We all knew the Knights of the Vale were gonna come in, but they executed it. They did it well.
JD Us Music, thank you for coming. Honestly, John's name is Jaharis.
That makes sense.
Could be
Harris, something like that.
Okay, so let's go to the next one. Even though I love that one.
It's a good slide.
That's going on my
We're going to
bedroom
print
wall.
that out for you and get that done.
So we're going to wrap
that's
it
our
up
episode.
momentarily. Almost. Real quick, we want you to follow Essential_TV on Twitter, Essential GOT for Game of Thrones on Twitter, and we want you to follow or like Facebook.com/ESNTLTV
Yes.
for Essential TV.
And then we are going to start coming back weekly, not with Game of Thrones though, because other things exist.
We might do
I've
some
seen a
more
couple
Game of
movies.
Thrones.
I saw The Shallows already. I saw, oh my God, Independence. I saw the first half of Independence Day.
I saw the whole thing.
But like, we'll devote some episodes.
We're going to talk about some movies and TV other than Game of Thrones.
Batman Superman director's cut, which actually did make more sense than the Batman Superman theatrical cut. We can get into
So
that.
be sure to
There's a lot of really nerdy things that we can get into. That
follow
we will keep
and
you
like
up
these
on.
things so that you can find us.
Right.
You can find us when we
Yes.
talk about things.
And then you
like
won't
that.
have to say, "Where are my dragons?" when we go off on rants.
You want to talk about Batman too? You want to talk about Batman?
Who wants to talk about man? It's fucking Batman. Are you kidding me?
Okay. Where are my dragons? What's the next thing we have here?
New slide?
And now our watch has ended.
Not his.
We might talk about Preacher. You need to watch Preacher.
How many episodes into there?
It's like 4 or 5.
I could do that. I'll get into it.
Finding Dory. We want to talk about Finding
We
Dory.
will be doing a hardcore adult review of Finding Dory.
I did.
Yeah.
Neom has just joined us as we are exiting stage left.
That's okay. Nia, you take over.
And Neom, we told everyone how you love Jorah.
Oh no, we'll do an HBO Sesame Street once a week. We'll
We're
just
going to
review
do
the Sesame Street.
talking about Sesame Street. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. Even those of you who just joined us.
We appreciate
And,
that.
we
It
know-
counts.
we know
Thank you
love
for
Jorah
saying
Mormont.
fuck Jorah one last time.
We know
take
you
that.
love Jorah. Something happening here. We're going to go look for Gendry. We're going to
Right.
have Finding Gendry. Thank you very much, Monica.
We'll just do a Google Earth search. Everyone go on Google Earth, spend a couple of hours, roll up a fat one, and just look at Google Earth. You can find a lot of weird things.
Girl in a
Maybe he's
bikini
there.
will raise your views, just saying.
Yes.
Noted.
Oh, so just put a girl in bikini?
Instead of George R. R. Martin.
We could have her standing in the background? Now, that's sexist. This is Game of Thrones. It's matriarchal. Shame for that idea.
Shame.
Shame.
Regards from Mexico City.
Yes.
Okay. Why don't you play us out? Thank you, White Noise Lab, for the heavy metal.
Oh, wait, were you done saying thank you to everyone?
I was just thanking the people who made that song.
Can I press the button?
White Noise Lab.
Button pressed.